What if I told you that everything that you have been told about building an aesthetic body is completely wrong? I followed the perfect scientific-based workouts by Jeff Nippard and other popular splits like push-pull legs, but my physique still wasn't aesthetic. That's when I discovered somebody called KinoBody, and all of a sudden it made sense why 99% of workouts fail for aesthetics. And in this video I will show you the two biggest optimal exercises or workouts that actually wastes your time. And as a bonus, I will even reveal the workout that made me and thousands of other people into an aesthetic Greek god. So the step one is that you need to implement the reverse pyramid training. To look aesthetic, we need to optimize for two things. And the first one is strength. The second one is hypertrophy. When we combine these two things together and we train the right muscle, we become aesthetic. So now you may ask, what is the reverse pyramid training? And let me tell you, the reverse pyramid training is where you start your first set of, if you do compound movements, where you do a heavy set between 4 to 6 reps. When you then have done the first set, then after, in the second set, we decrease the weight by 16%. So in the second set, we do 6 to 8 reps. That's the amount that you will be able to take if we take it by math, if you decrease the weight by 16%. And in the third set, you would then do the same again, and you will be able to take between 8 to 10 reps. By doing this, you can see we combine strength training and hypertrophy training. You should only do this method, as I said, for compound movements. That means where you target more muscles in one exercise. So this could be bench press, it could be squat, it could be overhead shoulder press. You get the point. When you do this, you need to do 3 to 5 minutes of rest in each set. Now you may ask, then what do we do for isolation exercises? So for example, doing lateral raises. When you do those, I want you to do between 8 to 15 reps, where you do at least 2 minutes of rest. I do between 2 to 3 minutes. That's what I found best. And how you want to do this is that you do the same. So the reverse pyramid, you just start from 8 to 10 reps now. So if it's lateral raises, for example, we start off by doing 8 to 10 reps. In the second set, we decrease the weight by doing 10 to 12. And in the third, we do 12 to 15 reps. And I explain these kind of topics much further inside of my course. And currently it's in pre-sale, so it is the lowest price that it will ever be. So go down and click the top link in the description if you're interested. So the step 2 is that you need to lower the volume and increase the intensity. Something that I quickly want to tell you that I did when I was younger was that I always used to do the PPL split. So the PPL split basically stands for push, pull and legs. So basically you trained like 5 to 6 times a week, depending on how dedicated you were to training legs. And I was not dedicated, let me just say that. But the point is just that I used to do 3 chest exercises on each push day. And I know so many other people are doing it because my friends are telling me that they do this up when I see them in the gym. And no wonder they have problems with growing their chest, because it's too much volume for them. When I did this as well, I didn't see any significant growth in my chest. So what I started to do was that I started to think, what if I decrease the volume but increase the intensity so I could get more strength and not just try to burn out the muscle and try to get a good pump? Because let's be honest, we don't want just a good pump. We want to look like our pump the entire time, right? So the way that we do this is by growing a muscle and getting stronger. So I started to cut down on my chest exercises, and I started to prioritize only the upper and the lower chest. Because when you think about it, when we do an incline pressing movement, it's not like we are not hitting the whole chest. We just hit like 75% of our upper chest and then 25% maybe of the middle chest or something similar, right? So what we can use to our advantage is that we only train 2 chest exercises one of the full body trainings days. So what I will recommend, this is a separate point quickly, but I want you to train between 2 and 3 times a week, full body training, because that is just what I have realized is the best for optimal growth, and you have the most free time other than the gym by doing it this way. So you don't have to come up there every single day, like 5 to 6 times a week, right? That's absolutely ridiculous if you ask me. So I started to just do an incline pressing movement and then a dip movement, and that was it for the week, for like a chest focused exercise. Then on the next full body day, I just did an shoulder press, overhead pressing movement, because it still targeted a little bit of the upper chest, so that was fine. If you want more breakdowns like this where I teach you advanced tips on how to grow aesthetics, then I would highly recommend you to go down and subscribe to my channel so you can get this content more often. So you also can look like an absolutely aesthetic Greek god. So the step 3, which I actually was kinda unsure if I should put in this video because it's such a powerful tip to actually learn, and it is the most important of this video. So if you want to get anything out of this, then you need to watch this the most focused that you can, and that is to train the 7 aesthetic muscle groups. In this section I will tell you what the 7 aesthetic muscle groups are, and I will even tell you what exercises that you're gonna do for each of the muscles. So I want you to take a piece of paper or write down your notes on your computer or telephone, because this is so important. This is literally what I teach most of. So the 7 aesthetic muscles is your neck, basically just the entire neck, the back, front, laterals. And then it is your traps, specifically the upper traps. And then it is your upper chest, your lateral delts, or basically just your shoulders specifically, but mostly the lateral head is the most attractive because it gives the V shaper. That's what we want to achieve. So the 5th aesthetic muscle group is your lats, the 6th is the bicep, and the 7th is your abs, specifically the lower abs. So when we train on neck, usually I like to switch between doing something for our back, front, and a lateral. So basically, to get the back, you just need to do a flexing movement where you begin to look upwards. If you want to train your front neck, we just want to think about curling our neck into our hyoid bone, which is this muscle right here. So just think about your chin needs to go in there. Then you will feel a burn here, then you know you're doing it right. For the lateral muscles, we just want to twist our neck from side to side. I like to do this where I lay on like a bench and then I just look slightly to each side like this. And then when it's too easy for you, you can just put your hand on your head so you can put a little bit more pressure on. For our traps, pretty simple, just do some kind of struggling movement. It could be with barbell or it can be with a dumbbell. For our upper chest, also really simple, just at least have 2 exercises a week that trains the upper chest. One, which is an overhead shoulder press, and the second needs to be an incline pressing movement. For our shoulders, you want to have one training where you specifically focuses on the rear delt, which is the back muscle here, and then you want to do a lateral raising movement for your lateral delts. And the front delts we don't really have to focus so much on because we train it by doing shoulder presses and incline pressing movement. Your lats, we need to train that by doing some kind of pull-ups or lat pull downs. Those are the only 2 that I would recommend you to focus on. The biceps, we have 3 heads. We have the brachialis, we have the short head, and we have the long head. The heads are getting trained in different positions. The short head are getting trained by having our elbows in front of us, the long head by having the arms behind us, and our brachialis is trained by having a neutral grip, like doing hammer curls. So you can implement exercises that have these rules. The abs, pretty simple. I just want you to focus on doing leg raises. If you don't have that much developed upper abs, you could do sit-ups as well. Again, I can't really explain it that much more further in details because I don't have the time for it. So if you want to have this advanced tip so I can really give you this aesthetic body, then I will highly recommend you again to go click the top link in the description. These points were important, but if you don't couple them together with the ones in this video, then it will all be pointless and the magic will be lost. So go watch that one. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day, bro.